seem to honestly be waiting to the last nanosecond to be recording these podcasts. So here I go for episode number 9. Why am my thumbs downing? How did that happen? What did we upgrade on Riverside? Hello, this is Nicole, thumbs up. This is Hairly Relatable episode number 9. Welcome. This is going to be an episode on salon culture. And now, as you guys know, I am in a commission-based salon. I always have been in a commission-based salon. So if you are a suite renter, if you are a baby stylist that is in hair school, cosmetology, up and coming, maybe you want to take a listen. If you are a client that is interested in knowing the ins and outs of what salon culture could look like or be, take a listen. It is fascinating. It is a very, very warped world of existence here. And Davenport, my cat, is obviously joining us because she is Hairly Relatable's #1 fan, and I had a lot of comments about her jumping up on my lap authentically, and she loves light too. Hi, Dabs! So, anyways, we are going to talk about number 1. Oh, by the way, we're going to disclaim too, because I am in a salon. We're going to say that what I talk about, especially in this episode, does not necessarily reflect the views, policies, and opinions of Beautiful Revenge Salon in Westwood, New Jersey, where I work as a commission-based stylist. Okay, with that said, girlfriend, salon culture. Now, basically, if you're picking the salon that you're at, you are going to pick it as maybe based on the popularity, maybe based on its Instagram now. How did we pick it back in the day? Well, when I was at the previous salon that I was at, I picked the first one as a popularity contest here in Bergen County. It was like one of 3 salons that were the booming business ones, and I was happily accepted as an intern into their program. So that was one back in the day that had 40 stylists, 25 assistants, and yeah, business was booming. It was fun, but also you get swallowed up in the nonsense of politics, and salon culture there was just havoc at the time because it was dog eat dog style, and I would, as an assistant, I'm going to tell you a little secret. This is funny and juicy. We were aggressive, and because you also made tip money, what I would do in that salon was shadow certain stylists, and as their colors would come down in order to make tips off of the better clients, which would be color takedowns, I would get their timer, see how much time was left on their timers, put a post-it note on it of which client and which stylist timer belonged to, and collaborate all of those timers in my aprons, and each one would go off at a certain time. I would be stocked as time ding 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 going to the client, give them their nice shampoo color takedown, because on color takedowns typically an assistant would get $5. Every couple 10 minutes I would have a timer dinging in my apron, and I was a little entrepreneur there, huh? But I had the system on lock, and I made my money. The stylists loved it because I was at their beck and call, and I was doing my thing. So that was funny because I definitely picked a great place to start and to learn and to shadow, and of course exist amongst the intern assistant staff was fun because I wasn't actually behind the chair yet, with the responsibility of having my own clientele. Now, insert the next salon I was actually kind of headhunted in, and how did I align with that culture? Well, it was a different era back then, and I think finding my way, the stylist that I envisioned myself to be wasn't necessarily the stylist that I was perceived to be there. And I really had to fend for myself, but the salon as a whole was more of an economy salon. And I also was told that I had to do a haircut in a half hour, which wasn't really my style back then. I really was into more funky things, and the value of my work didn't meet the expectations of the time. So we really get into the time management there, and it wasn't very much appeal to this salon before it changed ownership. Now, that culture and that value then of being in an economy situation back then when I started, didn't have a lot of amenities, didn't have a lot to offer. So again, the community is what drove me. And with the community also came the salon toxicity. And with the salon toxicity comes instances that, as a stylist, when you're dealing in a salon culture, there's things that happen in every salon, and it happens in every business. And it's alliances are formed, judgments are made, comments are to be had, situations arise. It's inevitable. And again, being so junior in those situations, how I handled them then probably isn't necessarily obviously how I would handle them now. And then I cared. Now I just don't give a so it definitely is different. I think we're all fighting for that validation then. We're all fighting to be a part of something, or to feel successful, or to feel valued by your peers and in your community of salon and culture and community of being a hairstylist. Now there's so much social media, so it's not really real, because you could also portray yourself as someone you're not. But back then you really couldn't hide, because either people liked you or they didn't. It wasn't like, oh, well, yeah, everybody likes me and you're really a jerk and you're just pretending that, you're Mr. Popularity, Mrs. Number One, but you're actually not really a nice person and you have nothing really else going for you, but people think you do. Back then it was real, like, wow, you have to really actually be a nice person. And I'm not saying that people are actually really nice that are popular. Come on. I'm nice and I'm popular. No, I'm just kidding. But for real, it was like just trying to really fit in, and to fit in actually was just like an obligation to hang out and to always be around, being with these people, being with your coworkers, going out partying, drinks. And it was just a lot of what happens in between all that too, right? There's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of he said, she said, or in our case, it was she said, she said, and the drama, like it really is something that stays with you a lot of years too. And after the salon got sold, it went way different. So it became more upscale. And here's like the juicy part. And without throwing names around, or people actually probably there for like a lot of this that will remember staying, the 20 years that I've been doing hair now. I've been through 3 name changes at the old salon that I was at before I was now at Beautiful Revenge, which now is on its 2nd term of ownership. So this girl's been through it already. So talk about salon culture and salon values and how I fit in as a stylist, right? and knowing my worth and how far I've come through the junkets after being with how many owners and how many name changes and how many different circles now, it's outrageous to think, how do I align with that? So now take the next circle of ownership coming out of that economy salon. As stylists, we evolved and now we upgraded and we went into this new world of luxury salons. And this is now as price points started rising, which was great for the industry, right? We're talking maybe, oh my gosh, 2005, 6. Yeah, so it's like a while ago. And the glazes started really becoming a prominent add-on. Not that everybody did them because they were just still kind of get them in, get them out. Time management became a little bit more of a factor. So I learned I called it mark myself off, right? And how like I was aligning with the salon culture and the value there now in the same space was elevated because I learned to navigate marking myself off after a client, and we didn't have a computer system at that point. Or maybe we did, and we were still using paper. Okay, so it was like computer, paper, marking myself off, X, 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 X after a client so that I would have 45 minutes to an hour to do a haircut. Now, that's a lot, right? So you're looking at like some of the stylists, so boom, 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 and it was not the stylist that I still wanted to be. And for me, it worked, and it wasn't frowned upon, or was it? And it's fine. I still stuck true to my value, and it still aligns with the culture of the salon. And I was happy and I was working. And I don't really agreed with the squeeze-ins because they happened and things, got misconstrued. And of course, like running late was a thing. And again, it always like stressed me out too. But we made it work and lived to tell. So fast forward into the third round of ownership at the salon that I was at. And that's when things really they really did kind of settle into their own, because it probably was the most successful part and the most thriving part of the career. And for some reason we were thriving, but the culture, and I want to be very delicate when I say this because this is the juicy part, right? The culture of the salon wasn't. So in a world, right, where you had the ability to really look at the big picture and say, wow, we have everything that we need looking back, but it wasn't cool to work. It wasn't cool to be there. Why? Why wasn't it cool? Like we didn't, maybe social media just had started that in 2007, 2008. We had MySpace. We had Facebook, I think, was starting. It wasn't big yet. But we still were thriving off of word of mouth. And even bigger, it's like there was this sense that now going through all of those cycles is that we had this camaraderie of the stylists that actually did stick it out. but why wasn't it more? Why didn't we all take it to the next level? And I'm still wondering about that too, because there was so much cutthroat of toxicity there. Thumbs up! Thank you, Riverside. I hope you all saw that, because that is so real and authentic that you can't make that up. I just got the goosebumps. Point, counterpoint. So, the levels of toxicity that existed there was insanely like weird, because it on the outside shell, it was like a well-oiled machine, because we were busy thriving-ish, your chairs were full, but like on the inside it wasn't real. And I mean, it could have been a lot more than it was, and I don't regret it, because there were so many learning experiences that I took away from being there. And it was that at the end of the day, I have to look out for myself and not everybody else. And I think that was the breaking point too, of when the world shut down. And after the salon closed, and I think that things have to fall apart for you sometimes to put it all back together. And I don't disagree with the decision to move forward. Everybody has to go their separate ways, do what's best for them. But I don't understand, like, looking back to why working and being proud of what you do, or wanting to work, was not cool. I'm so proud of to be a hairstylist now, and proud of my accomplishments, and proud of my struggles, that I'm proud to share my stories. I'm proud to share everything that I've been through. And that's also why I created this podcast, because I think that there are so many stylists and people out there that are scared to share their stories, and scared to identify with like things that they have been through, and the things that, like, toxic behaviors, or even things like bullying, it exists in workplaces, it exists in salons especially. And there's been so many times too where I've driven to work and had in my old places of employment, places in not just one place, right? That I've had clients and coworkers alone, and have had like a knot in my throat, thinking like, what's this person gonna say to me today? And I'm not that confrontational person to really stand up for myself then. And it took a lot of learning, a lot of grace, a lot of talking to someone, and to really come into my own, to get to that point of value, and to understand how I align, and how I add value, and how to navigate my thoughts correctly, to stand up for myself and to advocate. And that will always be part of salon and salon culture. So, with that said, I hope that I can inspire anybody to stay true to who they are, and to also not come into their, how do I say this delicately? I think I'm going to have to edit this episode after all, because it's 20 minutes already and I have to go to work. But I would encourage everybody to avoid the noise, block out bad vibes, and energies. And you know what? It's all what you put into it, and it's all just aligning with your greater self, your higher self, your positive energy. And definitely when you're in a salon, yeah, there'll be instances, there'll be opportunities that you'll want to throw your hands up and say WTF. But sometimes just let it roll off your shoulder. And there'll be days, there'll be minutes, there'll be hours, there might be even weeks. Hopefully there's not more than that. But if it's that much of a big deal, and you address it and you move on, and you always address it positively. Because if you hold on to it, like for years, it becomes resentful. And you're always left with that question, like, why did this happen, right? And if you always you care that much about your job and your career, I think that it's worth addressing. And that can only add more value to your salon and what you do and yourself. So, with that said, salon culture, especially being in a community, keep your vibes high, keep your people close, don't be toxic, don't spread drama, don't bully your coworkers, be a good person, smile, spread love, and don't be a bitch. Love y'all. This was episode 9, Salon Culture. This was a raw one. Y'all have been asking for some juicies, so there you go. I'm also struggling with some space. I'm sick of the color of the facial room. So I've been recording in my dining room. It's an open floor plan, but I need to find some space to record in. Seek and you shall find. Hairly Relatable episode 10 will be out in 2 weeks. It'll be February. It's cold here in Jersey. It's single digits. It's freezing. Actually, it might be like 16 degrees now. Need summer to come. Peace out. Episode 9, Hairly Relatable. Follow me, YouTube, Instagram. I gotta get back on YouTube Shorts. I gotta go to work. Have a good day.